Now, I have the pleasure to introduce you to the first panel. Dr. Jeannie Barrow, one of our moderators, rock star, and I have to thank all the moderators and my team for being on hands today to make this event happen. Dr. Jeannie Barrow will run the Latinas and Success, How to Overcome Being a Latina, a Woman, and an Immigrant to Achieve Success panel. Jeannie?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're so happy to see you. We are so grateful to be here to serve you in this way. Sandy, Carmen, or as we say, our La Cocina de Yaya, de Yala. We are so excited to bring you this first panel. And we're going to dive right in. So I'm Dr. Jeannie Barrow. I've been with Latinas in Business now for how long, Susana? Like, I want to say 3+ years. I've been involved in so many of the events, live and virtual, since the pandemic began. I am an executive coach, transformational speaker, career strategist, #1 best-selling author of Fearless Women at Work and Healing Leadership. I want to say that those of you who are with us for the first time, this is the place to be. If you're a Latina, if you have a business, if you want to grow your network and grow your influence and be able to expand into the woman that we all know you have the potential to become in your business. So with that, we want to inspire you today. All of us face challenges as we launch our businesses, run our lives and careers. And so we have 2 very compelling stories to share with you. And we're going to start with Sandy, who's going to tell us who she is, what is her background, and what is her why. Why does she do what she does every day? So let's start with Sandy, and then we go to our chef, Yala. Welcome.
So I'm Sandy Tejada. Thanks for having me. Latina. I'm Dominican. I'm an actor. I opened up the Sex and the City reboot with Sarah Jessica Parker. And just like that, I'm also a lifestyle commercial and print model. I'm a college graduate, and I am a daughter of Dominican immigrant who migrated from the Dominican Republic to the United States to give me the opportunity to achieve the American dream as an actress.
Incredible. Sandy, very briefly, what inspired you to become an actress or actor, as we call them today?
To escape. I didn't grow up in a functional household with a single mother who didn't know a word of English, and she always pushed us to first, she always made us work hard in school. Get your education first, and then you could pursue a dream and a career and then work on that. But since I was a little girl, I would always reenact the scenes from like Sábado Gigante, and my favorite roles were like, you know, the interesting ones, like the Chilindrina. I always wanted to play the roles where they switched it up, where they could play a character and make people laugh. And sort of, it was just always in me. I always make people laugh in real life since I was a little girl. So yeah, I live for that.
Yeah. And we're going to get into more of the depth of challenges, right? Because we know that it has taken us a lot to get here. But before we do, let's talk to Chef Yala. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what is your background briefly, and what is your why for doing this tremendous work that you do?
Hi, everyone. Chef Yala, it's a pleasure to be here. I am from the Dominican Republic, and my parents are from the Dominican Republic. I came when I was at the age of 5. My mom brought us here to have a better living. Today, I represent the community of the Bronx. I have a restaurant, La Cocina de Yala, Latin cuisine with Dominican flavor.
Thank you so much. Wow, this is and we're going to learn a lot more about you. You know, we have authors amongst us. We have people who've really struggled to get to where we are today. So I don't know, Susana must have done her research because I am Dominicana también. So Dominicans in the panel. So yay! Dominican power, right?
Dominican power.
That you faced make it as a successful Latina leader? And how did you overcome or tackle it to succeed in spite of it or because of it? So what would you say was the hardest thing that you overcome? Let's start with Carmen, and we'll go to Sandy.
Well, following my passion, which is cooking, and my journey, before I had a beauty salon. My mom raised me in a beauty salon. She had like about 6 businesses here. So that was the initiative I had, even though it wasn't my passion. After my mom passed away, I decided to go to culinary school to have my mind focused on something different and, you know, help my grief. I bought a beauty salon here in New York. I'm not a beautician, but already my customers and clients, they used to see that I went to culinary school, so they would have ordered me a lasagna. I would bring it to the beauty salon. I believe God had me that base because he knew that something was going to come out of it. And I think he works in a mysteriously way. From there, I started selling food in the beauty salon just for passion and hobby. And it was more privately. I went to the patio, which it became El Patio de Yala. And I started with a small grill from Sears and a little fryer. But the smell was getting inside the beauty salon, so that didn't go together. So I had to move a little space out to the backyard. A backyard was abandoned, nothing pretty. I bought myself a real grill, and from there I started little by little. So I spent in the patio 5 years. I made a nice, beautiful patio made out of pallets, 161 pallets. And it was called the Patio de Yala. It was something very small. And it was created by a giant mind, because I see where there was nothing to see. It's like fate. If any other chef would have come by, or anybody that was in the culinary field, they would have been like, "You're crazy. How are you going to cook here?" But I made it work because it was my passion and I have fun doing it. I pray to God and I say, like, you gave me this. If this is the time for me to let this go and, you know, follow my dreams, then, you know, help me. And I promoted that I was selling the business. 5 people came that was interested. So I said that's my answer from God. And I was very scared because, you know, I was coming to the real world to, you know, serve food to the community. When I rent a place inside of a car wash that they had a kitchen with equipment, because it was very expensive to put my own restaurant. So I want to start very small. I didn't want to have no risk. When I started, after 3 weeks, I got so many customers that the owner of this place wanted to raise my rent from $4,000 that he already was charging me, which I did a calculation and it wasn't much. I just divided it on my phone and I was like, you know, it's $141. I could make this off by selling juices and soda. I always was positive about it, but he wanted to raise my rent higher. And every time I used to step out, he used to say, my staff, you guys need to learn so you could take Jala out. Every time I used to bring more steak, he used to be like, oh, you're gonna get rich. And the positive thing about this that I took it was that God works in a mysteriously way. And if he would have put me there comfortable, I would have stayed there and not have my own restaurant today and become Chef Jala. So what he did to me was something to push me to my next level and to believe in myself that I could own my own restaurant here. So I was glad that happened in my life and turn it all the way to the positive side.
So I hear so many struggles, right? Really, one of the things I hear in your story, Chef, is that I hear you seeing a bigger vision for yourself, seeing that you could do something, even when it looked like you really couldn't do it. You just pushed and pushed and pushed. So see the challenge of seeing, for example, this gentleman who rented you a place and then was like, rent is going up. You're like, hey, but we just agreed to $4,000 a month. So being able to overcome those challenges, for me, listening to you is one of the pillars for your success as a wonderful chef today. Thank you so much for sharing that. We're going to go to Sandy. Sandy, what would you say was your #1 challenge as you have made your way from graduating and becoming an actor?
So the #1 challenge that I have, and I still have, is not looking Spanish enough for roles. So for Hollywood, it's basically if you're Mexican looking and you have, can you hear me? Because I think the Wi-Fi is going in and out. It's good?
Yes, we-
Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, for Hollywood, when you watch TV and film, it's basically a Latin role, requires someone with dark hair, dark eyes, pale skin. And so my dad was Black, my mom was white, and I look like this, I'm mixed. And people don't often believe me that I'm Dominican. Dominicans don't even believe me that I'm Dominican. They're like, oh my goodness, you speak Spanish? ¿Hablas español? And I'm like, yes, I'm Dominican. They're like, no way. But yeah, that's the biggest challenge that I have is that I'm not Salma Hayek, Penelope Cruz looking. I'm Afro-Latina. And so, yeah, it's just like, I'm not white enough for roles. I'm not biracial enough for roles, and I'm not Spanish enough for roles. So I'm just, trying to figure it out one day at a time. And hopefully I can one day create my own formula where, it could be something legendary for other Latinos to get inspired and create their own journey as well. So yeah, it hasn't really been easy.
So this is a very interesting point that you're bringing up, Sandy. You're not Latina looking enough, or you're not ethnic looking enough to get the roles that they usually write for Latino. So
I tried everything. I've even done the Black hair wig. I do the Black hair wig. I try to lighten up my skin a little bit, and no, nothing.
So there've been challenges. Obviously, you're here where you are, so I'm sure that you've leveraged some superpowers of yours to get to where you are. Persistent, resilience, not taking no for an answer. All of those things that we shared a little bit earlier when we were talking. And one of the themes that we were discussing, Chef Yala, Sandy, and I, was about our networks, right? How to build these networks that will support us, especially Latino networks. There's so many of us in really high places. Are we really throwing the rope back? Are we reaching out for each other? Are we promoting and advocating for each other? We would like to leave you with this message today that no matter how high we go, there's always going to be someone behind us who's trying to get to where we are. And so how can we pay it forward? And let's talk about, with a world that is now recognizing the value of diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging. Every single company that I've ever worked for, I was in the industry for over 25 years. Every company is now seeing the value of diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging. What is the opportunity, Chef Yala and Sandy? What is the opportunity that we have as Latinas to leverage it so we can really bring out into the world what we know we're capable of? Carmen, do you want to start?
Yes, I think today we are being more heard. We are being, nos escuchan mejor. We are up there. We inspire our culture so they could see that, it can happen. And in my case, I'm a chef and I serve the community here in the Bronx as a Dominican Latina. I have a lot of people that are in the culinary field that are scared. So once they see me, they be like, you see Jala, I could do as Jala. They come to my restaurant. I have my book. I'm a new author. And I always, recommend to have my book because it's a real story from the backyard to the kitchen. So I do offer it in my restaurant. And I always, I'm always tell them, I could be a mentor for you. Let me know it's not going to be easy, but definitely we are getting up there.
Well, Carmen, I think you have a fan. Paola Santana just said, I want to go to your restaurant. So please go to La Cocina de Yala, and I'm sure you're going to get to taste the yumminess of her food. So what about you, Sandy? What would you say is the opportunity that we have as Latinas today?
Well, representation matters, right? And so I think there are a lot of opportunities, and it's taking time, but we are getting there. Encanto was a hit. Ariana DeBose, she just was the first Afro-Latina to win awards. And so there are opportunities out there. You just have to be willing to do the research and Google. I wish I had Google over a decade ago. It would have made my career easier because you can Google everything. There are opportunities for minorities, scholarships for schools where you can write essays and then get a full ride to a 4-year college. And also Netflix and HBO is creating opportunities for Latino filmmakers, and they're showcasing their work and funding them, giving them money. And so, yeah, you just have to be willing to put in the work and go look for it. It's not going to come to you. And also you have to be prepared so that when the opportunity does come, you're ready to go. And so, yeah, there's tons of inclusion and diversity nowadays with every career path. And so, yeah, you just have to be willing to put in the work.
Yeah, so the way that I would, thank you so much, both of you. And, you know, the way that I would answer that question is the opportunities is that, for example, in the corporate world, which is where my clients are, there I serve organizations who are looking for leadership development, who are looking for consultants to come in and really help them develop their leaders with executive coaching. What I find is because they are so open to diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, that I'm like, I am diverse. I represent all of the things that you're looking for. So I would love to be one of the vendors, right? That is in your chain of vendors and be that diverse vendor. So that's definitely from my side, one of the opportunities that I see in the corporate world. So let's turn a little bit toward discussing what kind of advice. We only have about 4 minutes left to wrap everything up. What is the number one piece of advice that you would give the Latinas who are part of this wonderful event? There's 56 participants. What would be the number one piece of advice that you would give them as it relates to them building their businesses, overcoming challenges? What would you say is the number one key to success from your perspective? What would you say, Sandy? You want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. To get a little, you have to give a little. You can't just say, I want to be an actor and I want to run a business, but you're not doing anything for it. Everyone I meet wants to be an actor. And so once I start giving them information, how to get into the industry, they don't want to invest. You have to invest. You have to make an investment and sacrifice, and sometimes not take that vacation because you rather take classes or invest it on headshots. It's always just the balance of just, you know, your career and your personal life, but you have to be willing to want to do it. And so, yeah, to get a little, you have to give a little.
You know, a lot of parents were teaching us to be hardworking, right? Like, if you want something, work for it. It's not going to land on your lap, especially for us, because we don't come from, you know, wealth. You know, I didn't have parents who were set me up for life. My father, I remember telling me, Jenny, whatever you want to be, you're going to have to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and make it happen. We love you. We'll support you.
Yeah.
Yes, we love you. We'll be here to support you, but you're going to have to do it on your own, girl. And I was like, okay, bring it. Let's do it. So thank you so much, Sandy. What about you, Chef Ayala? What would you say is your number one piece of advice to the entrepreneurs who are here on the call?
I totally agree with Sandy. For you to do one thing, you have to let go a lot, just so you can focus and put all your energy to that. A lot of consistency, and especially a lot of hard work physically. In my case, I love to cook, but just like I like to do a nice plate, behind that plate, there's a lot of hard working. And a lot of people think it's easy just because you show on social media. No, you have to pursue your dream and you have to put the hard work. You have to let go a lot of friends. You have to let go a lot of parties. You just have to focus on this and give you 101% in order for you to overcome. When time comes, you know, year, 2 years, then it's like when you could settle a little bit. But it's always, you need to level up. There's still time that I'm still educating myself on things that I don't know. And you have to have a lot of consistency. And I tell people, because they will be like, oh my God, it's so hard. And I'm like, it is going to be hard, because if it's easy, then everybody else will be doing it. So that's
exactly. Yeah.
And it's part of the growing. It's part of you getting all the hard work.
Yes.
I think I laugh because that's what makes you the person that you grow up to.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Chef. Listen, I think the message is clear that from my end, we need to have a compelling vision. We have to have a compelling future. I think Chef Yala wanted to see that restaurant, even though she didn't have it in front of her. Sandy sees herself as this successful actor who's able to do the parts that she loves to do. I see myself as running my business and really helping companies develop their leaders to be inclusive. And the audience is asking us to share how they can connect with us. So we're going to type in the chat our Instagram handle, our LinkedIn URL, and any other place that you want people to connect with you. It would be a pleasure for us to connect with you too. So we will do that. And thank you so much, both of you, Sandy, so much success to you. I was sharing with Chef Yala before we left before that. I hope that this is not the only time that we connect. Let's make it a new pattern that after we are in these places that we make our best, do our best to connect with each other. So we're going to put our link, for me it's LinkedIn. I'm going to put my LinkedIn handle in the chat. Please connect with me. I would love to invite you to my network of over 23,000 professionals. So when you tap into that, you're going to have access to a lot of people who can support you in your career and in whatever your endeavors may be. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Chef Yala. And if you have any call to action, I know that Chef Yala would like to invite you to get her book, La Cocina de Yala, and her book is Becoming Yala. Becoming Yala. Oops, you're muted, Carmen.
Available in my website, chefjala.com, on Amazon, and it's Becoming Chef Jala from the Backyard to the Kitchen. Is in Spanish also available.
Ooh, beautiful. Becoming Chef Yala. And Sandy, do you have a call to action for everybody?
To help one another and then pay it forward. So if I help you, you help the next Latina, and then we can all grow together, and that's how we can become stronger and more successful together. Yeah.
Yay! Thank you so much. You can always connect with me at callwithginny.com or visit my website at executivebound.com. Thank you, everyone.